Alright everybody, welcome back. I had a request to do a fencing video. My buddy Jay Groom, obviously I text him and talked to him on the phone, whatever, and I talked to him this morning. Well, I texted him this morning and he asked what I was doing. I told him I was fencing and he requested a fencing video. So I'm going to revisit my fencing thing here and update everybody on what I come up with. First I'm going to give a little history here of back 2004 when I bought this farm. When I bought this, everything, see where this fence is here? This hill was not rented obviously, but all this flat back up to the property line, all the way back to the woods and around, all the way up to those woods, and the little field on the other side was rented out. Well, when me and my wife bought this place, we had horses. And basically, the horses were always at my mom and dad's farm. So we obviously, when we were looking for a place, wanted a place where we could bring our horses and raise a couple calves, steers, whatever. Well, what we ended up doing, this was fenced along the bottom. This is not the original fence, mind you. But it was fenced basically where the horse pasture is, from there straight up the hill. And then it kind of went up at an angle. And then where that wood post is on top of the hill, that wooden one there, is where the fence went up the hill. So what we did, that post there and that post here, we refenced along that. And then everything to the left of this hillside here, we cut for hay for our horses. And then we had a couple Holstein calves that we bought, that we bottle fed, and then we raised them up. So I used to hay this hillside here, and then that was pasture going up there, and then this little bit of hillside here was never in. So then what I did is I fenced along here over to meet where this fence goes around, and then that was all pasture, and we had 2 horses and 2 Holstein steers on this hill. And then I hayed this hillside. Well, then the second year, I talked the guy that was renting it. I talked him out of renting a little 3.5 acre field on the other side of the hill. And then we also put hay in there, so we had that and this hillside for hay. And then the following year, or that year that I talked him out of that, was his last year renting this. And then after that, we took over. So, what my plan is here, I have about half of my steers in the steer lot. I need to double check my numbers, but I think it's 4 steers are already spoken for. Once they're finished, the other 4 aren't. What I might do, I don't know if I'm going to ship the other 4 as feeders or just being I'm feeding 4, feed 8. I don't know for sure. But I'm actually going to pull this fence all out. If you can see up there where that old fence is, I ran a wire along there yesterday, refenced that, and then that meets up back here where I talked to you guys. And where are you? You can see, it's hard when it's zoomed in. That corner post, I fenced it to there. So I added half of that finger back into it, but then I followed the old line back up. I am going to tear this fence out. Michigan farming kind of already knows what I got planned here. I'm planning on working up this ground, seeding it down, and it's going to go back into hay. But I want to work it up because there's a ridge right here. I want to get this all worked out. There's some divots from gophers digging holes, and coyotes digging holes to go after gophers, and fox digging holes, and badgers digging holes. So I want to work this all up, get it all nice and smoothed out. I want to fix right there where we dug sand out of, and then the cow's been rubbing on it now. They've been filling it back in slowly, but I want to get that all smoothed back out and make it so it's one big hay field. And the idea is I'm hoping I can get enough hay off of it, one cutting, being I'm going to harvest all this rye and then I'm gonna probably cut this field, and that one I'm unsure of yet. The 5 acres on the other side where I spread manure, that might stay in hay. I'm not for sure. At this point I'm still pretty undecided what I'm gonna do for sure. But what I do know is this is gonna get seeded down. This all along here and this hillside, and the hillside here is probably gonna get oats planted in it, but then the flat I'm just gonna direct seed just my alfalfa, clover, and grass mixes. That way I don't know, maybe it'll all get oats, who knows. But the plan is to add that back in the field, get all these posts pulled out and get it all cleaned up, work it up, get it all smoothed out with the mulcher so it's a nice smooth field, get it seeded down. And then what I'm planning on doing is where my old, see how I followed the water run here and it's got that hook in it and everything? Well, my plan is to rip all that fence out, and then I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, but over there somewhere I have a pigtail post right there marking about 350 feet from that fence line over there. I'm not for sure. What my plan is to pull this wire all out, and then I'm gonna go up to where that pigtail post is and put a straight line coming this way. And the plan is I'm gonna pull the wire straight, get out of the way, and I think we're gonna cut hay off of this, and then we're gonna spray it no-till corn into it. And when I plant it, I'm gonna use the corn planter to make this field square with the rows, and then I'm gonna redo this line coming straight. I want to get in here and work on the water run, so I gotta move this fence out of the way anyways. As you can see back here, I've been working on the water run, making it so it's easier to get through, and that way I can cut it with the hay vine. It was too sharp of a drop and everything when you go through everything with twists and everything, so I'm trying to get that all graded out nice so it's easy to go through. So I want to get that finished and then get this part of it done all the way back to here, and I want to make it so I can drive through it again. It used to be really good till I logged that back hillside off and the log trucks just destroyed my water run. So I want to fix that all back up, make it so I can drive through it again like I used to, because this used to be where that fence is coming down the water run actually used to come straight through here. You can kind of see the remnants of it in here, and it went right by where the gator is. Right in there is how it used to go. So what I'm standing in here, this actually used to be a part of that field, and I want to do that again, but I want to make it square. And then I kind of, this field here is kind of going to be square. It's going to include this hillside and the flat up here, basically because I'm hoping to cut one cutting of hay off of it, and then need be I can cut a second crop, or I can graze it. And I'm just trying to make it square so it's easier for divvying up for daily moves with the cows. So that's what I come up with. The steers are just going to stay in the steer lot for right now. Otherwise, I'm still waiting to hear back on my rental ground over there. Adopted grandparents, if I'm getting their pasture or not. He sold his cows last year, and now he's kind of thinking about going to the sale barn and getting steers just to put, or feeder calves just to put on pasture for the summer. So I don't know what's going to happen there, but I have mentioned it, and that's what it is as of right now. So for right now, I think being there's only going to be 8 steers, they're just going to stay in the steer lot, and they're going to get hay and feed. I mean, I don't know. They just destroyed the round bale feeder, which it is 10 years old, so it's probably due to be replaced. But so what I might do is go to the steel place, buy a bunch of square tubing, and build a big round bale feeder. Build something like 5 feet by 20 feet that I can load up with hay. And maybe that way I'll only have to start the skid loader once a week, fill it all up with hay, because for grain, obviously, I just carry pails out there and grain them that way. So at least that way I won't have to start the skid loader every day. So that's kind of what I think we're going to do for right now. I don't really want to have steers in a steer lot all summer long, but I guess they destroyed their bale feeder. And if I go buy another bale feeder, it's at least $300 and some for a bale feeder. I might as well go buy square tubing and build a nice heavy duty one that's going to last, and then build it big enough that I can load it up with hay, and then just feed once a week. So anyways, that's a little history on what this used to be and kind of what my plan is going ahead here. But I'm hoping right now I'm gonna cut that wire on the bottom at the tensioner, and I'm gonna go to the other end and grab it and pull it to that post for the second strand. Right now I have one strand. I'm gonna pull it for the bottom strand. I got to get all the T-posts put in, but I just want to get the wire run. And then on the back, I ended up going to that back corner post or field post on this side, and then I just took the post that was in the back for that lane across the back and moved it forward. So right now this field is still 10 acres. Once I take this out and straighten it, when I measure it with FSA maps, my estimates of where the line should be, it should be about a 14-acre field when it's done. This one I'll rob some back there and add this up here. This will stay a 10-acre field. It'll just be square, rectangle, whatever. So that's the plan. And like I say, I'm making the hayfield bigger. Hopefully I can get enough off at one cutting and then graze the rest of the year, or try and work in with the deal that I can cut it, then graze it, then maybe cut it a second cutting and then graze it again, or whatever. We'll see. So anyways, that's what I come up with. Yeah, it just, I don't know, it seemed like the best option. So that's what I'm doing. I had thought about maybe waiting and doing this after crops were done this year, but I've kind of got a wild hair at my butt. Once I start doing something, I go balls to the walls and get it done. So, being it isn't raining yesterday and today, this is what I've been doing. So, I am going to cut that wire, take the gator down to the other end, and then start pulling the wire and have everything down to that end so I can put a new post wrap on it, on that post, and go from there. So now you guys got a little education of what happened when I first got this place. So, pretty exciting story, right? So, but anyways, yeah, so I'm going to, and then I want to get all this crap cleaned up out of this corner, pull all these old posts out that used to be here. See, this fence used to come around the corner here to that post, and there was this gate here and everything. I get this crap all out of here and cleaned up, because the cow lane here is gonna probably stay how it is, but I am gonna get rid of the bottom wire, and basically wherever this fence comes through here, I'm going to leave about a 24-foot wide gate opening just like I have down there, and then I can just use my risers, which I don't know if anybody has ever seen my risers. I know last year I made a video, but I've picked up about 1,500 subscribers since then. So these are all I use for risers. These are just a piece of PVC 4 foot long. I cut a notch in it. There's a bolt through it. You slide this on top of the T-post. It raises, then you just hook the wire over the top of it. It raises up high enough and the cows can walk underneath it. And two of these, between, if you put one on one T-post, the next one on the next T-post, I can easily drive the skid loader underneath it. So I can use that for feeding in the winter too if I have to, or whatever. But my other thing is I'm trying to set this all up gateless for the most part. At least all of the pasture as much as possible. So there's no gates and underground wires to deal with. And then all I do is I just put 2 insulators on the bottom of the T-post, and then I can just unpin the wire on the top, slide it down underneath the bottom insulators, or hook them in the bottom insulators, and then I can drive over the wire anywhere. So basically I can put a gate wherever I want. And then the other thing I gotta do, I'm gonna get some treated posts or treated 2x, and I'm gonna put an up and over wire here, because I don't, these stupid things, I could hear it shorting out the other day, so I cut it. So I'm going to get rid of that, go up and over, so there's no, I've discussed this in the past, I don't want any wires underneath the ground. And that one down there I've already disconnected. So I just want to go up and over right here. And then when I do the cows over there, there'll be one up and over, and that will be it. Everything else will be connected. No underground stuff anywhere else. So this is what I got going on, and I'll try to video some of it as we go. So anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully I didn't bore you with my story. So yeah, anyways, to get this stuff all cleaned up and pulled out, and we'll get her worked up and seated down and see if my plan works the way I want it to. So anyways, catch you all later.